Okay, so holiday. This is, I think, day one of the holiday. Yeah, actually, technically speaking, a long holiday. How long? I mean, I don't know how is it in other places, but in Malaysia, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday there's actually work, but a lot of them they take leave. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So as long as 10 days for some people. So whatever. Okay, so we'd like to hear how have you guys been doing?
I think I will go first.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
last week I skipped one session and I already feel the negativity is filling up. So yeah, I think this Saturday is very important to take the thinking out and to discuss to get better, like a filter. So last week, I don't want to spread the negativity, but I
Mhm.
actually didn't I don't think I'm very one word is like slacking. I slack a lot. Yeah, because I don't know why, because since start working and I feel comfortable and maybe this is the comfort zone. I know that I will working very long time with 7 plus with Adam and Lisa them. And then I start thinking want to fulfill to find fulfillment to fill out my life. So I look at uh, my goal list. So I have my financial, career, business, skill, and then spiritual and family something like that. And then I noticed one plan is um is empty. It's called relationship. So actually, I start putting some effort because I want to fulfill all the things I have. But yesterday is a bad day. I make a terrible mistake on my on my third day with my potential partner. So right now I just mess up. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's always related where how you treat your life partner or your partners is very similar how you treat your customer or prospect. So I'm thinking, yeah, long story short, I I overslept. I overslept and I missed the day. And it's a terrible mistake. I'm thinking if let's say she is my client, then I totally lost this prospect forever. So yeah,
Okay. I'm waiting.
This is so
yeah.
hard.
So one thing I'm so upset and I don't know how to fix this problem is because I had a very long time I didn't sleep very well, almost 20 years. I have a
Mm.
very serious insomnia sleeping
Mhm.
problem.
Mm.
So I always 2 days didn't sleep and then I sleep the whole day on the third day. So that's a very bad habits to me.
Yep,
Hmm.
you need to do something about
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually this not very went through very well. I'm still working on it. Maybe mentors can give me some advice. How can I solve this? I know it's not very business related. It's more about the lifestyle or the spiritual things.
No,
But
why is it you find it hard to sleep? Have you like seen any doctor or like what have you
no,
tried?
I never tried anything. I didn't find a doctors. I don't. Uh, Actually, it's quite a shame because I need to put the courage to share this thing in front of you guys. Um, for my career, even I start from my school, like secondary, university, I always overslept when something important thing happens. Like I always miss the opportunity to go into the college. I sleep in front of my ex-boss in the group manager meeting. It's very terrible. I don't know why. And even I driving, I can suddenly fall asleep. That's very huge problem.
Okay.
Okay, the last time when I fell asleep when I was driving, I crashed and then the car was very bad damage. It's a miracle I didn't have any damage. The car, the tires were like totally gone. When I wake up, I was on top of the hill. So I was lucky because when I skid, the car crashed on top. It's like here's the road. So the car crashed onto a hill backwards. So when I wake up, I'm like, oh okay, I'm on a hill. If that's a valley, then I probably wouldn't be here today. So yeah, if you find yourself always sleeping in these type of areas, I wonder how much of it is subconsciously self-sabotage. Like, why don't you allow yourself to go and take a rest? Like, uh, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't really help you in this. But maybe you want to get some help on this, because this is serious. If you start sleeping irregularly in your 30s, you're going to feel it a lot.
Yeah, I definitely would feel it. So
Okay. Okay. Two serious things. One is very serious. One is serious. With insomnia is actually a medical condition. So, which means you have trouble sleeping or staying awake. So I don't know. We needed to go a little deeper to understand which one of the insomnias you're struggling with. Yeah. So because if you don't sleep, because sleep basically is nature's way of cleaning up your hard disk, right? So it's a way of resetting your hard disk and to make sure the neurons are rested and everything is kind of reset. So if that doesn't happen, normally when you engage in mentally straining activities like driving, then you can snap off, right? You can snap off, and that is so definitely you need medical attention. Take that as an emergency. You need to probably tomorrow. It's now late, so tomorrow make an appointment with the doctor, see that, and they manage you. There are different ways of doing that, so that I'm not going to go too much into that. Then about relationship, having been married for 20 years now, it's something interesting. It's not to be taken like as a job. It's supposed to be taken as a relationship. Because if you take a relationship as a job, then you kind of mess it up. Because there's some things you do in the job that you wouldn't do in the relationship. And there's some things you do in the relationship you wouldn't do in the job. But my quick answer would be take it seriously, but also sometimes take it easy. Right now, job, you always have to take it seriously. So that's what makes the difference. But with the relationship, one of the things that has helped me as a person, and I've seen with many people who have been in relationship for a long time, is that start on truth. Okay, start on truth, no pretense. If you have some weaknesses, like I am very appreciative of you, you have a problem with insomnia. So start with that point. Don't paint anything. The moment you start with painting, galvanizing anything, that's where problems occur. Because sooner or later, your partner is going to discover your weaknesses. So if you actually start with where your weaknesses are and your future, then the true partner will either run away, which is good. It's like closing. They will run away then because they are not going to handle you right, the way they should handle you, the way you are. So if they can't cope with who you are, then it's good they go away now, rather than you invest emotionally and then they walk away from you 5 years later or 3 years later, right? So start two things, start with truth and be genuine. They're kind of related. Be genuine. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to change and walk on your hands, right? Just walk on your legs.
Trying to appear perfect to people doesn't matter in
Yeah,
what situation.
yeah,
Trying to appear perfect to people is a lower self thing. So
yeah. Yeah,
just be
be
aware of that.
yourself. Yeah, but just know that, and probably the third thing is you need to have some checks. One, these are my like the must-haves, right? Because there's some things which are no-go areas. 1, 2, 3. Like some people have 10, some people have 5. So know what they are your must-have, and your partner should have those. Now there's some compromise areas. Like you can have 5 must-haves and then 3 may
Can
haves.
have
Yeah,
this
something
format.
like that.
Okay, we'll just use this as client advice. By now, everybody had some opportunity to deal with some clients, so just write the clients from health attributes, and it will be different for everybody because some people can tolerate A, they cannot tolerate B. Some they're like, yeah, B is no big deal, but I can't stand A. So just have a list and write down what is like, we're not going to tolerate this. Okay. Second column is like, it depends on the situation, situational tolerate. And some is like, yeah, I know this is something, but it's not a big deal. Then once you have this list, maybe you can send to us. Now there will be some things which is like, it's a bad idea to tolerate. One of the thing is, I'll say, late payment from client. I haven't had this. I think I never had this. Yeah, actually I never had this, but I heard a lot of stories where the freelancers, they did the work, they're not being paid and stuff like that. So I think that's like, I think I won't tolerate at all. For me, now I just share my own list. This probably don't apply to you. Okay, I'm just sharing my list. So if I find the prospect is stupid, no, that's like hell no. Like I'm allergic to stupid people. So it's like Jero is like, okay, like okay, this person's not that bad. Why are you so angry? Like no, for me cannot. So that's an example. So some things for me is like no, cannot. But Jero is like okay. Then for some things Jero is cannot. If Jero sees the business owner, they don't treat the staff well, then Jero is like cannot. For me it's like, yeah, I mean, depends. Not everybody deserves to be treated well. So you see, everybody is different. So you have your list, you write down, you can just share with us. Because if there are some things that we think you shouldn't tolerate, but you tolerate, then we can give you some advice. Like maybe you don't want to tolerate late payments. Like late payments, I think everybody shouldn't tolerate. Okay, and just use this for business, use this for your relationship. And once you have this list, feel comfortable to tell your potential partner or prospect. Now, when I work with people, here are the list of attributes. I find when people have this, we really can't work together. So I want to be clear with you. When I work, this is how I work. You communicate that on day one, or very, very, very early on, it saves you a lot of trouble.
Yeah. So for both relationship and business, it's kind of the same, but also different. So the perspective is important, but the key point is must have. There are those key principles that cannot be tanked. If the business owner or the potential partner doesn't have those, then you have no business with them. And it's okay. We live in a blue ocean, right? There's always a lot of fish out there. So you cannot say because this part of the ocean has no fish today, tomorrow, it will also not have fish, right? The fish will walk in. So this is the problem, both relationship, business, and that's something. Yeah.
I think
Beautiful.
for a happy life, you don't want to tolerate people who are dishonest.
Yeah.
That I think it's quite universal. If people are now this dishonest, it also depends. Some people, they sell certain things that are not so new, but they say as if there's no difference between old and new. Then to me that's dishonest. But everybody will be a bit different. Okay, come on, Jade. Relationship cannot be too relation sometimes. Vincent, I don't understand.
There's one word missing. Rational. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Depends for everybody, I'll say. It depends on individual, but there will be some things which is like generally just don't take it on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's those of you who now I must say some people are not meant to have relationships, right? Like intimate partner relationships. And naturally their DNA is not meant for that. So don't just go for it. Okay. Now this is where self-awareness is important. You need to know, am I meant for relationships or I'm not meant for intimate partner relationships? If, yeah, okay. Okay. So once you know yourself, then go for that direction. Now, having been in relationship for 20 years, if this is something that I didn't want, I would have, we've had a lot of challenges, just like anything, right? But because I had an agenda and this is what I wanted, then you can withstand anything, right? However, don't be forced by your parents, don't be forced by your friends. It should be a personal decision to go into a relationship or stay away from relationship.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, it's not to please anybody, not your mom, not your dad, not your uncle.
that's like one
Yes.
of the worst reasons to make a decision is to please other people, because you can please everybody in the world. If you don't please yourself, what's the point?
Yeah.
Then don't do something just because you want to be perceived as similar with others. Don't be like somebody who go and renovate the house, spend 200,000 on the house, then realize there's so much trouble renovating the house. Then you go and ask yourself like, why did I do this in the first place? So that's something. Just be
Yeah.
clear what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't be moved by it. You should be convinced, because relationship is such a deep stuff. It's not easy. You remember, you're committing to a human being, and human beings are very complex. Even you're failing to manage yourself sometimes, right? So imagine having to manage another person. It's a very complex thing. I'm not scaring you, but it's not easy. So choose to do it when you want. And then when you want to do it, that's when you become more relaxed. After choosing the person who meets your basic needs, need 1, 2, 3, that's a must have. They have that. Then the other areas, okay, maybe, then you can work through that. So that would be generally my piece of advice. Create a list. No, before you create a list, get to understand, is this the journey I want? Not trial and error. Do I want it? Yes or no? If you want it, then what would be the attributes I want? What are the must have? What are the so? And then you move from that direction. And when you start dating, your number one thing is to have the person sell themselves to you, why you should do business with them. Now, and my hindsight, when you go out for a date, your partner should be able to close themselves. It's not you to close, but they should be able to close themselves, because you have your shit, right? 1, 2, 3. Now, many people make mistake. They lower their standards, right? And especially I see this on the side, Anastasia, this is on the side of the ladies. Many times the lady who is here will lower her standard here to meet a guy, okay? No, you keep your standard here. In life, whenever you lower your standard, know you're going to deep shit. Don't lower your standard.
Yeah, it's same for business as well.
Yeah.
So just be very clear like what type of client you have in mind. Actually, good exercise to just write down what are the characteristics that you think your ideal client is. Just be clear on that. Helps you say no. Why we do this is it helps you to say no to people who are not a good fit. And the more you can say no, the better your life is. Me and Gerald, we just said no to somebody this morning.
Yeah. 5 hours ago, we just quit.
We just said no to one project. Like, yep, we like you, but
you don't provide the future we are looking for.
Yep.
Right? So we don't want you to waste our time. We don't want you to waste your time, vice versa, right? So that's important. And really being in this thing for this time, you're very, very safe saying no from day one than hoping against hope. Hope is not a strategy. I can now say, not in relationship, not in business.
Yep.
Hope is not a strategy. So have your must-haves. Go ahead.
I think if I can give my 5 cents, I think because I know Max with the work he's done, so he has a standard for things. So I think he cannot. I mean, people cannot make the same between the business and the relationship. I mean, that's totally different because Max tried to put the partner into the business part. So he start to make a milestones. It's like he got expectation, and then this has to be this, and this has to be that, and he already like making his own pressure, not even from parents, but from himself. So that's, I think, it's kind of like a job. So so that's why I think he just like mixed it in the relationship and the business. I think it's that. So relationship is relationship, which I don't know, just like never like never mix it with the business. It's like it's not a trading. So
And
like if you give me this and you give me that, so
Mhm.
I don't know.
be a bit sure about. I mean, I'm not sure if I heard it correctly, but if you're going to invite partners into your life, just know like freelancers tend to be people who seek control, seek growth, um, and the growth we seek is very different from somebody who is a normal salaried employee. For growth and seek freedom, that's one more. Control, growth, and freedom. If your partner is not a person who seeks a lot of growth, a lot of control, a lot of freedom, you have a lot of problems because you're not on the same page. So there will be a good chance that you will outgrow your partner. So if you want to find a partner, just find somebody who have proven themselves. Like there are people who always seek growth and always want to self-improve. Else, if you improve 10% a year, I think 7 years from now you have a problem because you'll be a totally different person.
Yes, and I can attest to that. When your partner is not growing and you're growing, one would be in Mars, one would be on the moon, and they will not be on the same velocity, unfortunately. So this is why it's important to understand what do you really want. So once you know that, then what kind of person would this be? And so, for instance, for me, one of the things when I remember 20 years before, I said I always wanted a mature woman who has had other relationships. Then she will know the difference between me and other guys, right? That was my agenda, because like what Bo has written, now your time is probably much worse. Our time was right now, many of the younger girls really want to be pleased. It's just about baby dolls and all those little things, right? They don't really consider serious future things, right? It's just a little things.
Here's the tip,
So
boss. Date within HTC.
yeah. So therefore you need to choose somebody who is big in terms of the mind, because if you choose somebody who is a bit childish, I mean, all these things we're doing will, first of all, your life will look so boring to them. They will say, oh, you're always reading, you're always hearing this thing of Dunlop or this thing of so and so. Then, you'll split ideologically. So I would rather take your time, get somebody who is mature, who you can grow with, from the communities where you learn from. I think people you find yourself doing the same courses,
Yep.
those are potentially
Date
good
within
people,
copy
because
accelerator.
because in your mind you're already thinking of your future. So like right now, my partner works at night. She's closing, she's a closer, she's closing for a US company. Now, during I coach during the day, right? I have so like imagine if I had this kind of thought, oh, how can my wife work at night and then I work during the day? It would cause confusion for the ordinary man and woman. However, because we're all high ticket closers, we're all copywriters, we're all coaches, then we share a lot of similarity, right? So we can manage all these disparities. So it's very, very important you choose somebody who matches a lot of the things you consider important in your life.
Yep. Because there will come a time where you'll feel the average person is too unrelatable to the people you want to speak with them. That might
Yeah.
come a time like that. Yeah. And it's true, like our clients who are like multi-millionaires don't really want to speak with normal people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just know that these are things that you it's nice to know. And if you feel like, because many times the spouse will actually if the spouse refuses to grow, actually sabotage the business, will sabotage
Yeah.
the success of the other party. It's quite a it's not easy to handle.
And that's why if you look at many of the coaches from the West, they like many of you are familiar with Danlog and Jenny are always together, right? Most of this. Sometimes when you don't see on the screen, she's behind this behind the behind the scenes, like the CIB events that Danlog has been organizing, which is like the annual event for his students. The 2 times I traveled to Vancouver, I mean, you could see she was involved with packing T-shirts, packing all these things, really working with a team. She's involved in the team. So that's the kind of partner you want, who supports your dream, right? So you don't want somebody who is going to antagonize, because I'm telling you, relationship is one of the greatest killers of growth. If you get the wrong partner,
I
you are
forgot
dead.
what were the
Yes.
criteria. I was watching some videos that day, but one of the things that actually I remember was you don't want a partner who makes you feel guilty
Yeah.
about working too hard, especially if you're a freelancer. Because at the starting, you don't have a lot of options. You will probably like take on more projects. Then, I mean, as there will come a time where it's like, yeah, screw you, I don't need your money. I don't need to take on more projects.
Mhm.
But initially, if you have a partner like that, you're going to have some problems. And if let's say your ambition is very, very big, your ambition is very, very big, you want to be something like Denlock, you want to be like a travel around and share experience like Crystal. If your partner's not on the same page, if your partner make you feel guilty, no way in hell you're going to do that. So
Yeah.
just know what you want. Get very, very clear on this, and it's okay to communicate on day one.
Yeah.
And like some, let's say if you think you're a very ambitious person, you meet a prospect who's not that ambitious, you are going to have some problems. If the prospect is very, very, very ambitious, but you yourself, you want to take it easy, also a very bad match. So there are many, many things that we want to consider when we take on clients. So just get comfortable to say no. And if you have a problem saying no to projects, then you have a prospecting problem. Because I mean, this is something we want to practice ourselves. We want to say no to, I think, 80% of our prospects now. I think 50% is too low. we need to raise the standard a bit, like say no to more people. So
Yeah.
that's our takeaway, because having ending the work conversation is actually not comfortable conversation to have. So ideally, we don't even want to have to do this, because you do the work, you don't get paid as well as you did, or maybe you do some consultation with them, they don't implement it the way you want, you get frustrated. So all of these things, yeah. So just be comfortable saying no to people.
And the prospect, and that goes both for relationship and for professional stuff. I did a lot of prospecting. So dates are good. Even if you miss that one, Max, plan another date, go for another one. Yeah, and explore. So don't see that, don't take it again too seriously. Maybe, actually, my first date with my wife never worked out. Yeah, she didn't show up. And way later, it was her test for my resilience. She came and told me that I just quit because I wanted to see how you'd manage the frustration. Because for some guys, they would pick up for phone and they go crazy and be very angry, right? So I didn't do it that way. So I handled the situation differently. So all things work for good. So you can turn such a thing for good. So don't take it too serious, like, oh my God, I miss. No, life should be taken easy on the side. Have principles, but implementation should be with flair. A lot easier. So you keep your blood pressure low, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, maybe next
Next
person.
question. Next question. Anybody
She
have some?
ghosted me. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not? High expectation, low attachment. Always in life. High expectation, low attachment. Especially this phase when you're still searching. Yeah. Yeah, blue ocean philosophy.
Okay. Anybody else have like stuff you want to share with us?
I like Anastasia. Anastasia's comment. Yeah. Okay. Vincent, you look like you want to say something. You're trying to open. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I think I missed 3 weeks of the classes.
Yes.
I have been traveling a lot. So I think I procrastinated a lot for the past few weeks. So because I didn't have time to sit at home, so okay, I see the guns coming up. No, but I basically for the past 2 weeks I have just because I'm on the move, right? So I just do some time to go through courses like Think Like a Millionaire. I go through it twice, and then
Mhm.
Jay sent us the homework. So not sure if you guys have gone through it, consultant coach kind of things
Mm.
from Denlock.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I
Actually, I
went.
forgot the homework. What was the homework?
What?
Actually, most of the things I don't remember. But if people did the homework, they'll send to us. Then I mean, I'll know. So okay. Hopefully the costing like a millionaire is not skip like a millionaire. Okay. So what was the homework? Seriously, I forgot. I'm serious. I forgot. I generally I don't remember things.
The Denlock talk about the difference between a coach and a consultant, and then
Uh-huh.
talk about different type of businesses.
Uh-huh.
But the homework basically is just for us to go through. So
Oh, okay.
there might not be a follow up after that.
Yeah, because if it's a homework, usually there will be like we will say, what are the things that you want to share with us. But maybe this week's homework can be just write what are the things that you will not tolerate from your client. That's
Yeah,
something.
maybe the homework should be for all of you guys, because we would like you to be very successful with your clients. Like we just told you, part of the reason why we quit from this client, there was a mismatch of expectation. We read the client wrong, which means that we thought he was better than who he was. And this happens. This always happens in life. Nobody is perfect from day one. That's why it's important when you are getting into a business relationship, you try your very, very best to go through the things that shouldn't be compromised. Have a very clear list of things. But if that somehow that misses and you start working with the client and things don't work out, feel comfortable to end the relationship. Actually, we'd say the last 1 month, we've ended 2 relationships, business relationships.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
because we realized that these things were not clear at the beginning. So you're better off having no business than being in a bad business. It pains you more. The cost is much more being in a bad business relationship than have no business at all. So you can use that time for prospecting. Don't compromise. It sounds funny, but don't compromise
Remember,
on
you
your
guys,
happiness.
you're not in a job.
Yes.
You don't need to take so much nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay. So if sometimes we don't make as much money, but I'll say it's kind of hard to not make as much money in freelancing in your own business compared to salary. But at least the satisfaction, the control has to be there. That's me. That's for me. We have way more control than we imagine. That being said, Vincent, maybe you can share what's the big takeaway you have from the coach and consultant, the Denlock video.
Okay. So before I end my procrastination thing, right, I have to admit. And then, one of the things I thought about procrastinating is because the one of the to-do lists on my wall have been on the mastering the upsell from Victor Antonio. It has been very long time, but I have not purchased the book. So I think I better do it tonight.
Now,
Ah,
after this
yeah.
session, you do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the key takeaway, I mean, when it comes to implementation, right? I think one of the for me, I think it's a big takeaway was when Danlok talked about. I think there was a question posted to Danlok. When was you a millionaire? It's not exactly this question, but it's something like that. Maybe from his parents. And then he said, "No, I have been a millionaire for some time before I get my first million. It's
Yeah.
all about the mindset."
Yeah.
So during one of my trip, I had this thinking in my mind: should I just get the in-flight Wi-Fi to do some work? Otherwise, but I'm not going to claim this from the company, right? Because it's my own personal thing. And then I tried to think, if I were a millionaire, what would I do? I would
Yeah.
just do it, just get the Wi-Fi and do my
Yeah.
work. So I
Mhm.
implemented it. So I think this is one of the very key takeaways. It's about
Yeah.
really, I think a lot of the decisions sometimes in life, we really have to think, what would you do if you were really at that stage, so that one day you can be at this stage. So this is something that is a
Yep.
key takeaway. I'm trying to learn it as well.
And I would like to acknowledge that because that's one of a very big
Yeah.
thing that I had in mind. Like it's like I have to start to operate like a person who charges 5,000 before I'm actually charging them. So
Okay.
you'll come to a stage when you operate at that way, you will say this sentence like, "I don't know how to do things poorly," and you can tell that to your client. Like, what you want me to write one landing page for 500? I don't know how to write a page that's only cost 500. Okay, let me share with you my process. This is the thing we need to do before the thing is written. Then once this the groundwork is done, we have to do this. Then they're like, "Oh my god, I thought it's just right." Ah, yeah, that's why you think it's 500. So
Yeah.
you will be operating at a usually people who do good work. Okay, tip of the iceberg. Most people think the work is here, but the people who are good, not even very good, the people who are good, they understand below the iceberg there's a lot of groundwork, a lot of foundation work. So if we just focus on the top 20%, the tip of the iceberg, generally is maximum you will be average, I'll say. But for those, I mean, for us who we attend HTC and High Income Copywriting, HIC Copy Academy, research is part of the foundation work. The foundation work includes your normal research, how you pay attention to marketing materials, how you pay attention to ads, the emails you receive, the marketing, are you deleting them or are you keeping them? So all of this is the foundation work. You do all of this so good. Why? You do all of this foundation work. Why? Because all the good people, they do all of this foundation work. So if we start to operate as somebody who is good, it's just a matter of time. So Gerald say be,
Yeah.
do, and have. Yep, I agree.
Yes. So the formula for what you just mentioned is this. So Sifudan mentioned that he was a millionaire before a million, actually before the bank account reflected the $1 million. So, and this is the proven formula. So psychologically, mentally, you have to be who you want to be first. If your aim is to be a copywriter who earns 10K a month, 10K USD, right? It means you have to embrace that ideology first. You have to, that identity. This copywriter who earns 10K a month behaves different from a copywriter who earns 1K a month, maybe 1K ringgit, right? But let's say this guy of 10K a month US will do certain things. So the question then you need to ask yourself is, what does this person do? Right? So by embracing this identity, the 10K identity, you will discover they do, maybe this is their morning ritual. During the morning, they do this, their day looks like this. These are the things they don't do, these are the things they do. So then you begin to do the things they do, or not do the things they don't do, right? That's the do part. Automatically, by behaving, they thinking and doing the way like this person does things, you will have the results. So by Danlok thinking like a millionaire and behaving like a millionaire, doing the things that the millionaires do, naturally you have the cash in your pocket, right? And this is a proven thing, right?
Okay,
And
so
it works. It's a standard formula. So from today, whatever your goal is, put that goal in your mind.
okay, so homework for
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
Why we want to write both ways. Okay, copywriter do. So I saw a video recently. It's about inversion thinking. So why we want to do inversion thinking is because human brains, we are very good at spotting errors, spotting mistakes. So yeah, well, you want to, I would say last year you're operating like a $100 a month copywriter. This year there are some changes, but we still need to be more. So let's just write. I think this is good for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
What does 10K a month copywriter do? Now, if 10K a month copywriter, they do and you can use the same thing.
And that's I think believe and do. Actually, number I
Oh, okay.
wanted us to, one should be about belief, one should be about do,
Sure, sure.
because belief comes before doing, because they have to be somebody first. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so this what today?
Okay.
And now this way, you can start with
Inversion.
anyone.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
start with anyone. Just yeah.
And I want one question. I think the fifth question should be about themselves. So knowing this, what do they want? It's like the summary of all this. So that can be their, like the blueprint, right? Yeah.
So which part? Fifth question is
Yeah.
for themselves, you say?
Yeah. So what? Knowing all that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they? What is the blueprint they want from this assignment? So what am I going to operate? Like 5 things. Normally, I like 5 things they're going to be doing. Knowing after going through this assignment, what are the 5 things they'll be doing? So that would give clarity. So then they can put those things on their timetable to make sure their Google Calendar reflects those things.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to put it in numbers, but more or less this is
Mhm.
this is this week's assignment. I'll just copy and paste in chat so you guys can copy and paste.
Yeah. So it will be 4A, 4B until 4D, something like
Oops,
that.
that's a typo. All right.
Yeah.
So once you
Yeah.
do this, just send to us in WhatsApp,
Mhm.
send in Messenger. Just send it to us so we can take a look. Okay.
Yeah. So this is good. So this is going to give you a roadmap,
In
because it's
fact,
going to be different from every one of you.
let
And
me just
yeah,
quickly type it once in my document so I don't lose it. I don't
yeah.
lose it. Okay, there we go. So I think it's a good discovery session. Like just sit with yourself and like think. Now, if you don't know how a 10K copywriter operate, that is why. That is why you find it very hard to move to the next phase because you don't know
Yeah.
how they operate. Okay. Now,
Because Einstein says what brought you here will not be the same amount of energy, brain, and all that to take you to the next level. So this is where you now do reverse engineering. So once you get clear with how a 10K copyright operates, because here majority of your copywriters, right? So you then see, okay, where am I right now? I'm 2K, right? So how can I reverse engineer in order to go towards 10K? What am I not doing right now? And then you will need to start doing those things. You need to believe those things that can then take you to 10K. It's fun, but you really need to sit with yourself. Yeah.
okay. So this is just to help everybody start out a bit easier. how many clients? Okay, how many clients? Um, how do they view themselves? Okay, how do they view their work? Actually, I think what is more important than that,
Clients, the
this is more
clients is
important.
more important. Yeah. Yeah.
How they view their work, how they view their friends, or even like what type of friends they have, what type of friends they have. Uh,
Mhm.
let's see what other things we can come up, which is a bit general. Okay, what habits they have,
Like
what
what books do
videos.
they read? Yeah, it's like what the environment, like what goes in their mind, right?
Okay, so we call this
The mimetic environment.
environment.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, the mimetic environment.
Okay, so what this means is what is the videos they watch,
Courses, yeah, things like that.
what books they read, what who do they follow on social media.
Yeah, and so that would also stand for their any mentors and stuff like that. So
Okay, yeah, I think this is the foundation. This is the
yeah.
basic. I don't care so much about how they approach their client. That is, I think, another level. But like, just start with yourself first. This part. Okay,
You
so
have a lot of clarity and then go in.
I copy
Yeah.
pasted. So I make it copy paste friendly, for everyone. It's in the chat. I pasted. I just pasted in the chat. So yeah, that's the that will be the assignment for this week, and I think this will help you a lot. You'll find that, oh, no wonder I'm stuck because I do this when I'm supposed to do this. You'll discover a lot of things, and this is basically self-coaching.
Yeah.
Self-coaching. All right. So
Yeah.
just do that, then just send to us. We can take a look. We can give you some feedback. Maybe in your whole list, we'll say, hey, what is the 3 things you think you want to change? What is the three
Yeah.
things that we want to point to your attention? Then we can highlight it to you. Okay. So I think this is a good assignment for the holiday. Don't you agree? 5 days
Yeah.
holiday we have. Four,
Yeah.
four days left.
Yeah, so enjoy this. I think this is, if I had the questions like this before, I would be further, but I wasted a lot of time. So that's why we don't want you guys to waste a lot of time. So you're further ahead. Okay, good.
Okay. So notice I didn't write how many hours they work, because some can work very short hours, some 3 hours, some they work 8, some they work 10, some they work 12. But usually it's less than 10 at 10K level. Usually, I know a few. It's less than 10.
Yeah.
Some seems like they're not working in my eyes. It's just trolling me. Some of them, some very mean people in Austria.
No, but the good thing, I think you guys have a very, very bright future. When you answer these questions and the last part, what am I going to do? How am I going to behave? How will I operate from today? If you're consistently doing the right thing, money is a byproduct of value creation, right? So money is there. It's not, money is plenty. If you want, so the question is, whom do I need to be to attract 10K? So actually, that question that has 5 points will lead to whom do I need to become
Be, do,
to
have.
attract? Yes.
So the second thing is do. So we have to do
Yes.
before we have it. You
Yes.
want to get a tree, you plant a seed, you water before the tree appears. You don't like, oh, I get my pineapple or whatever it is, apple, then I go and water. No, 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 no. The universe
Yeah.
don't work that way.
Yeah. That's why people who go in some of this crypto stuff and all that, the fad that comes on the internet, they don't understand this formula. You cannot get wealth for doing nothing. you have to bring value to the marketplace. And there's nothing called luck, right? I don't believe in luck. Luck is when preparedness meets opportunity. If you're not ready, you don't see luck because your eyes don't see luck. You are not prepared. If you don't know copywriting and there's an advert for 10K copywriting gig, you cannot get that money because you don't have the skills, right? So create luck, create opportunity by being the person who measures to that opportunity. That would be my
And
lesson.
usually it is not the skills that is the biggest problem. The skills is quite easy to learn, but the mindset is hard. Why? Because the skill, I can just ask you to write something and I can say, hey, you shouldn't write this, you should write this and stuff like that. The mindset is very hard for me to like, can I say you show me your brain, then I tell you what's wrong with your mindset? You can't. It's only when we say certain things, then we're like, hey, wait. You said that. This is where listening, this is where it's personal coaching one-on-one. The client says some dumb things, and I'm like, wait. Just now why you say that? Let's look at this. Now, why you say this? Is it because you believe in this? They're like, yeah, actually I believe in this. I said, then no wonder we have some problems. Okay, but that's coaching, that's another thing. But how we can help everybody on this, it's like, mindset is the hardest thing to help because it's a abstract and you don't see. It's not like something I can say, can you send me your email? Then let me take a look. Then I'm like, oh, you missed this part, you missed this. Mindset, you can't do that. So I think one of the way we can help is you just do this homework. You share it first, then we will know more or less like what are the things that you need. Then maybe we can recommend you some videos to watch or some courses to buy. That'll be the next step.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so closing questions. Anybody have a quick, any closing questions? We can quickly handle it.
I have a question, like not exactly a question, but a sharing, but yeah, just seeking feedback. So I actually documented like how long I work for a specific project. So it's an email sequence, and it took me around 35 hours to plan and write everything. So it's
How many
around like
emails? 35?
11 emails, right? So it takes me like 3 hours an email, so it's an embarrassing to admit, right? So
And nothing wrong with spending a lot of time in one email.
No,
Nothing wrong with that.
that's good. That's good.
Nothing
There's
wrong with
nothing
that.
wrong with that. Yeah.
right. I mean, like, because people are talking about they just like spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes finish writing an email, and then now I'm actually spending like
I
3
don't.
hours.
If your client is good, they don't care how long you work. They care about how what is the result
Yeah.
and how your work impact their business.
I don't see that as a problem.
Right, but it's sort of like I view myself like I'm an inefficient person, right? Because people can take 30 minutes, but I take 3 hours for me, right? So
Now
I don't know if that's
who is the person, because you are different, right? Where is your? There are different factors, and one of the things that and now that you're bringing this is you're not any other person. You are Bo. Now you are going to grow differently. Jay may take 30 minutes, but you may need 3 hours. Why Jay has done this 10 years? You have done it 1 year. So it doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that you are not there yet. So the key point is Kaizen, continuous learning. Automatically, what is difficult is what you don't know, right? That's the only thing. So the more you know, the more you spend time, the easier it becomes. Right now, like when I go for my classes in the university, I just go with my slide mover. I don't need anything. Why? Because I've been doing this stuff for 15 years. But some teachers they would freeze without the slides. I can, even if there are no slides, I just know we are going to talk about this topic. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm smart, although I'm not smart, right? But the whole point is you have to allow yourself to grow. If you undermine yourself now, the way you are telling me is you're undermining yourself, and that's not good for your
Yeah,
Um,
based on how you
yeah.
ask the question, how you phrase the question, how you phrase the situation. I don't even want to say how you phrase the problem, how you phrase
Yeah.
the situation. This it might not be a problem.
Yeah. It's
We
actually
know
not a problem.
now we know what is the mindset, what level it is.
Yeah.
But before you
So
open
it's
your
a
mouth, you don't.
mindset. Yeah. So it's a mindset issue. Yeah.
Is spending 3 hours to write email something not so optimal? Maybe a little bit, but it's not the thing you want to focus. You want to be obsessed about speed.
Yeah.
It's almost like you tell me, I can't type fast enough. It's not really how fast you type. It's like, if the email converts, who cares? You can spend 3 hours. You can spend 3 days. If the email converts like crazy, who cares? But if you
Then
tell
the
me,
question. Go
that
ahead.
you're charging uh $5 per email and you spend 3 hours, okay, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not really a big, but you can share more
And
details with
yeah.
us so you can see the
And
difference.
then the other thing you could ask yourself, the kind of question you, so do not necessarily compare yourself with others. However, I would like to say, right now, it takes me 30 minutes to 3 hours to write one email, right? What do I need to do in order to write one email for 2 hours? This is why we call it reverse engineering. Now, that's a more constructive question.
Yeah.
Because when you criticize yourself, that's going to lower yourself, what do you call your self-image, and you cannot undo your self-image. So you have to protect your self-image.
So
The name you give yourself
what needs
will
to happen?
become that. Yes.
What needs to happen for you to be writing it in, let's say, from 3 to 2? I think that's good improvement.
Mhm, mhm.
What needs to happen? Now, where is a lot of the time that you think is wasted? If you find yourself procrastinating a lot, it's probably not the writing skill. It's probably you feel imposter syndrome. You feel like you don't deserve to do this, then you freeze. So that's a different thing. That's not a
Mhm.
writing skill. Then that's a mindset thing. So you need to find, like, where is the time spent? Where is the time spent? You just have to be more clear with that. Now, 3 hours on one email is okay. I mean, I think it's okay.
I think it's okay. For somebody who is just new, you are relative, in the scheme of things, you are relatively new. 3 hours is very good. Yeah. There are people who will take 2 days and they haven't written an email. I can't tell you. Yeah.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure maybe I'm improving, maybe take less and less time over time, right? So maybe now it's 3 hours, next time 2 hours and 30 minutes or something like
Go
that.
and buy instant scripts and copy and paste the email and just write.
I mean, that's possible, but
For Adam, maybe it works for you. I don't know. I don't write emails. Adam publicly admitted he used instant scripts. Charge 10K.
Yeah, because what Adam does, he uses instant script to give the first draft. Then he builds onto it. Yeah. And that's one way. So because Dan Locke says good copywriters steal, which means you have to get a skeleton, a frame from somewhere. This is why we have to keep good emails, right? You have to keep good emails, good landing pages. Every time you see an advert that's good, every time you see a landing page that is good, copy it, keep it. So when the time comes to write a landing page, still that, it doesn't mean word by word, but the idea and everything, then you start building your stuff onto that.
You can ask Max 7+,
Yeah.
swipe things like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. That is the standard. You don't have time to start from zero because instant script is AI, right?
The only thing original in 7+ is the way they copy other people's work.
Yeah. That's how it is supposed to be. Because look, and Dan Locke appreciates this, and he says all knowledge, in fact, he said originality is overrated. The people who invent, they have spears on their back. That's how he says. Inventors have spears on their back, or they're already in the cemetery. Why? Because invention, 99% of inventions don't work. That's why most startups end up dead, because there's simply too much stuff to do, right? So as a copywriter, don't start from zero. Start from work that is already there. Actually, just before this session, I copied, I think, about 30 emails that I received from Dunlop, but I hadn't copied on my vote. I just copied them in my vote. 20, I think 25 emails. I do that. I subscribe to Tony Robbins, Nick Singal, Sifudan. So those three people, and then Robert Kiyosaki. So I have those people. All their emails. I PDF them. I just copy them. Yeah. So when I start those kind of things, then I just go back and say, hey, why did Robert Kiyosaki, so when he was selling this program, why did Dan Lok write when he was selling Smart Challenge, for instance? So you start from somewhere. And so actually, every day you guys should subscribe to, not every day, subscribe to people you think are leaders in the area you like. Copy their emails and keep them. Copy their landing pages and keep them.
Unless you are in the computer industry, because Lenovo, HP, Dell, all the emails is shit.
Yeah.
But if you're in education and training industry, like all those that Gerald mentioned,
Yeah.
Robert Kiyosaki, Anik Singhal, Dan Lok, Russell Brunson, go ahead and copy. You probably can't write better than them.
Yeah. So you can, if they are launching something, one of you is writing for the pet industry, right? You just, instead of course it is pet, right? Just a few things there and there, because they have tested this email, right? They have done testing. So why do you want to start something that has not been tested? You just change the industry and change a few things when you've done your research. So basically copy and paste, but in a nice way, right? Not in a junk way. So it saves you. And then you can charge, you can actually, now, when you are charging using a template from Dunlop, from Kiyosaki, then you have the confidence to negotiate 3K for an email sequence,
Yeah,
5K for email sequence.
I copied from a very good person, you should pay me well.
So the story you tell yourself is that I copied from Robert Kiyosaki, so, but you don't tell that, right? you don't say that. But then that gives you confidence that this source here, the source file, is from Robert Kiyosaki. So who are you not to pay me 5K for these sets of email, right? So that is very good psychological to make you gain.
Ask Max, like 7+, all the best things, all copied. Or like what is the best performing?
Yeah.
Everywhere. Everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so thanks for joining. That's the end of this. We'll see everybody next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, really thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, guys. Yeah. I hope
Bye.
it has been useful.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks.
See you guys.